You want you to be gone, and you want yourself to keep on feeling that as being you is not worth it, and being like someone else is worth it, because like I said, that judgment, then that unworthiness, both plays a role in you not wanting to be yourself, which is very terrible and very scary, because it can lead to you thinking the wrong way, which still leads to you being unworthy, because your thoughts just as well plays a big role in you being unworthy, and also people judging you. Because sometimes people can judge you and that makes you be a comparison against this person to be that person. Sometimes maybe it's just your thoughts and maybe nobody's thinking nothing bad for you, and you're just thinking that because you feel like, welcome to the Brennan Brown's Clutch of Facts and Theories podcast show. I'm your host, Brennan Brown, and today we're going to be talking about why comparison is a thief of joy. Comparison is a thief of joy because you can just be enjoying the day, having a good day, jumping like little Sally, and then eventually a big boom, horrific thing goes on to where you see a person or maybe even a group of people that leads you to be afraid of them. And you know, with comparison and everything, judgment really plays a role in you feeling unworthy to want to be worthy, and that's what can lead to comparison. Comparison can lead to you being unworthy because you feel that maybe you as yourself don't want to be present in that moment. You want you to be gone, and you want yourself to keep on feeling that as being you is not worth it, and being like someone else is worth it, because like I said, that judgment, then that unworthiness, both plays a role in you wanting to be yourself, which is very terrible and very scary, because it can lead to you thinking the wrong way, which still leads to you being unworthy, because your thoughts just as well plays a big role in you being unworthy, and also people judging you. Because sometimes people can judge you and that makes you be a comparison against this person to be that person. Sometimes maybe it's just your thoughts and maybe nobody's thinking nothing bad for you, and you're just thinking that because you feel like, oh, because I may look this way, I want to look that way or be like that person so that I can feel like myself, which in reality, no, you're not feeling like yourself. You're feeling basically like that person, but you're not living up to them because you can't be them. You can only be yourself. And even if you want to envision being like that person, but in your own way. Like for example, Gary Vee is a content creator who gives advice. Jordan Green as well, Jose Zinka. 3 wonderful men that I can think out of my head who are content creators that give out advice. And I'm doing the same thing as well. I'm giving out advice. But am I being like them? No. Do I watch their videos? Yes. Do you sometimes feel like you're comparing yourself to them? Maybe once in a while, yeah, because I'm human, but most of the time I just try to be Brennan Brown. This podcast is the Brennan Brown's Collection of Facts and Theories, hosted by Brennan Brown. It's not Jose, it's not the off-brand Gary Vee. I'm not being off-brand Gary Vee. I'm not being Jordan Green knockout. I'm going to be myself. I'm not going to be the fake Jose. Jose is already real. We don't need a fake Jose. We don't need a carbon copy of all these YouTubers. We need to have the real authentic YouTuber that comes out in its own way of doing self-improvement or self-development topics, like for me. But to get back to the episode here, fear can really play a big role in you being in that comparison trap, because all this fear can lead you to thinking about what you wear, what you do, or what you even speak. Fear can do that when you're in that comparison trap. You can feel insecure. Insecurity is a big thing when it comes to you being compared, to you feeling less and unworthy. Imposter syndrome, for example, also imposter syndrome is also a bad habit that can lead to you being manipulated into that comparison trap, because you feel that you're doing something bad. Like for example, let's just say I'm doing a presentation. Maybe I see that one person doing that presentation so fluently, speaking so well, and then for me, maybe I copy what they do. Is that a right strategy to do? To copy their words, to copy their assignment, to copy exactly everything they're doing? Heck no. I'd have to do it the way Brendan see it do it, not the way how so-and-so see it. Isn't that a great example of showing how comparison can get to people when they're fearful, when they feel unworthy, when they're just less of themselves? Another example is maybe even wearing an outfit. You may see a nice person wear that outfit to your job, your school, whatever event you're going to. Then you copy their style. No, don't copy them. Don't copy their haircut. You be you. That's all. Be you. Be yourself. And this is really bad for content creators in general. If you're a content creator watching this as well, it's a little tip I want to give you here. Being like another YouTuber, like I mentioned earlier, is really bad. It's bad. I understand that we as content creators, we should be able to follow some trends. Yeah, that's different. But if you're trying to like full on be like this YouTuber by copying their thumbnails, by copying how they record, by the way they talk, by the way they act, by the way they dress, then you need to get the heck out of that comparison trap. And you need to just sit down, go down deep into that rabbit hole and think, what exactly do I need to do to be more authentic? And even if you're not a content creator, vice versa, you need to think that too. As I'm successful, think about yourself, on how you would see yourself do it. For example, how I would see Brendan do it. Another example is for people who have a business. You don't want to copy what that person's doing, because see, comparison trap can also lead to you being delusional. Comparison can also lead to you having false ideas, because you can compare yourself thinking that because Sony became an amazing iconic brand in gaming, my gaming company can be the same way too when we build our consoles. But then listen here, that's your expectations, but in reality the brand is already 5 years old and hasn't grown yet. Now you're looking at yourself as, wow, I messed up. Because you had false expectations. You're trying to be in that comparison trap. Comparison trap can lead to a lot of things. It's not just itself through people. Comparison can just be through anything. It's basically a daily necessity. Or how I go by this signature quote I made that's new. Comparison is a necessity for an everyday bad life. Or even sometimes for an everyday bad thought. And it doesn't even have to be every day. It can just be anything, like a bad day you just had, that one bad day or that one bad thought can lead to comparison being a necessity for that thought or that day. If you were being in a comparison trap that day, depending on how that bad that day was. Were you trying to compare yourself, or were you just doing something and something bad happened? But back to what I say, comparison can get you in that trap, especially when you're trying to see yourself be like something else. Like for example, I referenced that PlayStation brand. Can't make your company be that company. And a lot of people get mad or get jealous. They'd be like, well, hey, I can't get this. They did all this, they did all this. But at the end of the day, yes, they went through hard work. Yes, that person may have went through a lot of stuff to get to what they wanted to get. Rather if it's their business, rather if it's their success, whatever it is. But at the end of the day, they went through their own journey. You don't have to go through what everybody else is doing. And this is major for the people who want to pursue your passion. You don't have to go the same route that person went. You don't have to even if you're an average citizen, or if you're stuck in that average lifestyle, you don't have to just work a normal job and be like everybody else. Don't compare yourself to that person and be like, oh, I got a job too. That's really good. Da, 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 da. That's good. Congratulations. But if you're not enjoying it, you need to get out there. Enjoy your life. Pursue your passion. Now, for those people who love their job, work that normal job. Like I said, I'm not debating on whether you should work a 9 to 5 or not. I just like to say this straightforward. If you don't want to work in that 9 to 5 industry, you need to find a side hustle, pursue it into your career, because it will start off as a side hustle, but then once it makes enough money to where you can leave that job, leave that job. Put in that 2 weeks notice and say goodbye. Like I said, comparison can really do that. It can lead to a lot of disappointments, like I referenced earlier. PlayStation brand, once again, when I said that console thing. If your console company is still bad and that console company is still good. It can lead to a lot of disappointments. It can lead to a lot of false advertisements of success in your life. Hopefully I'm not ranting here, but it does. But on one of my recent episodes that I mentioned, I said that, and this even goes with the episode that we're talking about right now, sometimes those thoughts can gear you up into going into that comparison trap. Can't worry about what that person say. If you don't want to work that job and you want to pursue your passion and you know that business or whatever you're doing or even job that's new is scalable, go to it. If you don't want to go to college and you just want to go to two-year college trade school or just pursue your career in YouTube, whatever it is, if it's scalable, if it's really working for you, go do it. Like I said, and if you heard everything I was saying, you is all about you. It's not about nobody else. That's the comparison trap. It's all about everybody else and it's not about you. Worry about that one is you. Worry about you. Don't worry about nobody else. Worry about you. All other people's thoughts out of your head. But hopefully if you're dealing with comparison, I hope that you learned something from this episode. I hope that you understood that comparison is the thief of joy, because throughout all this whole explanation of this episode, you definitely were educated on how to get out of that comparison trap, because sometimes it can lead to you going down the wrong path of madness. And by me just saying all this, I was really shocked, because that's how comparison can do you. Just one comparison trap you get into can lead to many others. So please be authentic and be you.